In the process of transforming trash into gems, Mike Wolfe, the founder and star of the show American Pickers, became a well-known figure nationwide. Mike and his crew have been able to fascinate audiences for a number of years with his enthusiasm for searching for one-of-a-kind antiques and historical artifacts that have been forgotten. The fans, on the other hand, couldn't help but notice some big changes in the most recent episodes, which led to the question, what happened to Mike Wolfe? This very moment is the end of it. It has arrived. Take a look at this. He already has several things outside. Raise your voice over here. What exactly is in all of this? To be honest, that does look really nice. What exactly is going on over there? Hello there. It's me, Mike, saying hello. It is a pleasure to meet you. On the list of things that have happened to the guy who is responsible for the success of American Pickers. The dispute with Frank Fritz, who has been a co-host for a long time, is at the top of the list. Before their relationship took a turn for the worst in the year 2020, many people are familiar with Mike and Frank from the time the show first began airing. In the background, it was revealed that Frank had abruptly stopped appearing on the show, which left viewers wondering about the reason for his extended absence. Due to the fact that it was during the height of the 2019 virus, viewers initially did not take it seriously. Nonetheless, once normalcy was restored and the series started, Frank continued to be absent from every episode. The alternative was for Mike to go on road trips with his brother Danielle Colby, as well as with Jersey John and Robbie Wolfe, who are both experts in antiques. Frank disclosed in an interview that he had to leave the program owing to severe back pain, Crohn's illness, and alcohol addiction. This revelation came about as a result of the pressure that he received from his fans. It wasn't just that, though. In addition, he disclosed that he and Mike had not communicated the previous 2 years. As he was being interviewed, he stated, "Mike was aware that my back was in a bad way, but he did not call me up and inquire about how I was doing." Well, that's the way things are. Apparently, Frank was under the impression that Mike intended to give his brother Robbie the role of replacing him on American Pickers. That was quickly addressed by Mike, who called Frank his brother and wished him luck. Mike was quick to address the issue. In addition to this, he stressed that the trip that they both walked was not without its setbacks, but that it was ultimately the most fulfilling. Frank, on the other hand, was not going to accept any of Mike's assertions and referred to his statement as BS. He also emphasized the fact that Mike did not check on him at the time that he was experiencing difficulties with his health. Mike later stated that Frank's addiction was a factor in his absence from the show. However, Frank testified that he was never fired from the show. Mike's admission came after Frank's absence from the show. Frank, who had been making preparations to return to the program, suffered a stroke in 2022, which occurred in the midst of all the ups and downs. As you would have guessed, Mike was the first person to inform the general public about the situation through his post, in which he urged everyone to pray for Frank. During the weekend of Memorial Day, the two individuals, who had apparently not seen each other in person for years, got back together. This occurred 1 year after Frank suffered a stroke. Although the two individuals got back together in the previous year, the time that they were engaged in a quarrel coincided with a difficult time in their professional life. The fact that American Pickers, which is not only one of the longest-running shows on the History Channel, but also one of the shows that is now seeing a significant loss in audience, should be old news. In the 14 years that the show has been on the air, the most recent season, which was just recently released and had its premiere a few months ago, received the lowest ratings. To be more specific, the episode that was titled DIY DeLorean received fewer than 500,000 viewers, which is a significant decrease in comparison to the prior seasons, in which each episode received more than 1 million views. The question that is currently being asked by practically everyone is, what is going on with American Pickers? It is true that there are a number of variables that are contributing to the decline in ratings. Nevertheless, the most significant one is the departure of Frank Fritz, who was the original co-host of the show. Not once have I ever taken a bath. What kind of odors are you referring to in this sentence? In any case, I mean it. Lavender, wildflowers, or even the little pony could be the culprit. None of these are certain. Doesn't the company have any male ones? They do not have any motor oil or ones that smell like gasoline, or do they? From this moment on, I can assure you that I will not be purchasing anything that is referred to be a little pony and putting it in the bathtub with me. The fans' desire for an on-screen reunion did not materialize, despite the fact that everything appeared to be resolved between Mike and Frank. As a sad reminder, Frank passed away in September of 2022, and Mike also took the time to send a post to his friend that was filled with emotion. The show has made a number of changes in reaction to the falling ratings, including the addition of Robbie Wolfe as a new cast member and Daniel Colby as a new co-host. It is said that some viewers chose not to watch the show because of the way in which the producers of the show dealt with Frank Fritz. This occurred despite the efforts of the producers. In spite of this, American Pickers has been renewed for a 27th season, and Mike Wolfe and the other cast members continue to have a positive outlook on the show's future opportunities. In the way that we film, we have 2 weeks of work followed by 2 weeks of rest. As a result, I bring new items to this business every 2 weeks. But we are required to divide our inventory, or whatever you might call it, between this location and Iowa. It is here that a significant portion of the larger items are found. Due to the fact that this is a huge metropolitan area, we end up selling through a significant portion of it here. Outside of Mike's work life, in 2013, Jody Fayeth, Mike's ex-wife, was given a diagnosis of stage 2 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a cancer that has the potential to significantly impact her life. White blood cells are the only cells in the body that are affected by the disease, which indicates that the cancer begins in the lymphatic system. As a result of the disease, the immune system of the body is compromised, which makes it more susceptible to a wide variety of illnesses. Because Jody was dedicated to leading a healthy lifestyle, the news came as a complete surprise to Mike, which caused his family to be astonished. Following her diagnosis, Jody immediately began undergoing intensive treatment in order to combat the disease. In addition to undergoing surgery, she also proceeded to undergo chemotherapy. Additionally, Jody, who is vegan, made certain alterations to her lifestyle in addition to the conventional treatments that she was receiving. She remained committed to her vegan diet and increased the amount of physical activity she did on a daily basis, and all of a sudden she received the encouraging news that her cancer had gone into remission. Through a series of routine medical examinations and appointments, she was able to certify that she was cancer-free, thereby achieving victory over the fatal disease. Prior to the cancer scare that his wife experienced, Mike and Jody brought their daughter Charlie Faith Wolfe into the world in the year 2012. Charlie was born with a congenital problem known as cleft lip and palate, which is a condition in which the upper lip and roof of the mouth have openings or splits. Charlie was diagnosed with this condition at birth. The problem, if not adequately controlled, might lead to difficulty with feeding, speech development, and ear infections. This may sound less alarming than it actually is, but it could lead to challenges in these areas. Upon hearing the prognosis, the couple experienced a natural range of emotions and immediately began searching for the most suitable medical care for their child. During that time period, Mike made a preemptive announcement that he would be leaving American Pickers. He stated that he needed to spend more time with his young daughter. Charlie was fortunate enough to undergo a number of reconstructive surgery in a short amount of time before she became 2 years old, in order to rectify the medical problem. Her flaws were treated by surgical procedures, which ultimately resulted in an improvement in her capacity to eat and communicate successfully. During the difficult times, Mike and his partner became proud advocates for Operation Smile, a charitable organization that offers free operations to children who have been diagnosed with the disease that their daughter has. Even when Charlie's condition was improved, they continued to advocate for the cause by continuing to support. They continued to promote awareness and support for other families, particularly those families who were unable to pay the exorbitant costs associated with the several procedures. A fast forward to the present day reveals that Charlie is in good health and doing well, and it is safe to state that her diagnosis from childhood has not in any way hampered her growth. The most important thing in Mike's life is his relationship with his girlfriend, and he occasionally posts images of her on Instagram to share with his followers. However, that was not the only thing that occurred to Mike. Jody, who had been his wife with whom he had been married for about 9 years, divorced him in the year 2020. They had been living apart since June 2020, as stated in the documents filed with the court, and the divorce was finalized in December 2021, with the reason given being that they had irreconcilable differences. Despite the fact that divorce is not typically considered a major event, particularly when it includes famous people, Mike and Jody's divorce was noteworthy. Not only did Jody allege irreconcilable differences, but she also mentioned that they were unable to properly live together and asked for an equitable distribution of their property and obligations, according to the source for this information. Due to the fact that the couple had a profound love for one another, their divorce is rather upsetting. They had their first encounter in 1994, which was a long time before Mike got famous on television. They dated for more than 17 years, during which time they went on dates together until Mike proposed to her, and by 2012 they were married. Only immediate family members and close friends were present during the wedding, which was a private affair. Early on in that year, the couple became parents to a daughter whom they named Charlie. Since that time, they had been through everything together, from health crises to rumors in the media, and they had remained supportive and committed to each other, frequently complimenting themselves in public